Hello everyone, welcome to EduSoul, Learning with Heart. In today's class, we are going to explore one of the most fundamental learning theories in psychology, which is classical conditioning. This concept was first introduced by Ivan Pavlov, a famous behaviorist, and it helps us understand how we learn through associations. Let's dive in. Pavlov was a Russian physiologist who studied animal behavior. He focused on observable behavior rather than mental processes, making him an early behaviorist. His most famous experiment involved dogs and salivation, leading to the discovery of classical conditioning. Let's see what is classical conditioning. It's a form of learning in which capacity of eliciting a response is transferred from one stimulus to another. It is a type of learning that happens when we form an association between two things. If two events repeatedly occur together, we start expecting one when we experience the other. Over time, our body and mind automatically react to one even when the second event isn't there. Let's see the key terms associated with classical conditioning. First one, unconditioned stimulus. This is a natural stimulus that automatically triggers a response without any learning. Second, unconditioned response. It's a natural, automatic response to a natural stimulus. Third, neutral stimulus. It is a stimulus that doesn't trigger any specific response at first. Fourth, conditioned stimulus. It's a stimulus that doesn't cause a response at first, but after being linked with the natural stimulus several times, it starts to trigger a similar response. Fifth, conditioned response. This is the learned response to something that now triggers a reaction after being linked to a natural stimulus. Let's see the experiment of Pavlov. Initially, he observed that dogs naturally salivate when they see food. This is an automatic response where the food is the unconditioned stimulus and salivation is the unconditioned response. However, when a bell was rung before presenting the food, the bell itself had no effect at first. This was the neutral stimulus. Then he repeatedly paired the sound of the bell with food, and over time the dogs learned to associate the bell with the arrival of food. Eventually, the dogs started salivating just at the sound of the bell even when no food was given. At this stage, the bell became the conditioned stimulus, and salivation in response to the bell sound became the conditioned response. This experiment demonstrated how learning happens through association, forming the basis of classical conditioning. So, classical conditioning is a learning process in which a neutral stimulus becomes associated with an unconditioned stimulus to produce a conditioned response. Let's see the applications of classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is used in treatment of phobias, where gradually exposing people to their fears while pairing it with relaxation to reduce anxiety. And in aversion therapy, pairing an unwanted habit with something unpleasant to discourage it. And it's used in treatment of anxiety disorders, where using exposure therapy to help people overcome their fears, and it is used in advertising and consumer behavior where companies use happy images, music or celebrities to make us associate products with positive feelings. And this is used in treating post-traumatic stress disorder where repeated exposure to safe versions of triggers helps in reducing fear. It also helps in training pets and animals, and it has placebo effect in medicine where our body responds positively to fake treatments when we believe that they work. So, classical conditioning is not just about dogs and bells. It influences our emotions, habits, fears, and even the way we shop. Understanding this concept helps us see how learning happens all around us. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class.